Hey, everybody, it's Hustlers Horizon Podcast. I'm Derek.
I'm Pedro.
And look, we are excited. Episode 5 is here, man. These episodes are going by so quick, right?
I know, and they're so fun, too.
There are. We've had so much fun getting to know so many people. And today looks a little different. We don't have a guest in studio, but
It's us, too.
it's just us. And there's a reason for it. We've been kind of getting the thing started. We've been telling everyone stories, and it's just been going really good, having a lot of fun with it. But we figured we need to tell the people about us and tell our stories.
Yeah, man, kind of get our story out there, let them know a little bit about us, you know?
Yeah, because people want to know what led us to this, right? To this podcast.
Yeah.
And so here we are. And I just want to get started. I mean, let's tell the people, the subscribers, the people who have been following us already, giving us great feedback. Let's tell them about Pedro. Let's hear a little bit about your story.
Oh, man, there's a lot. But, a little bit about me. I'm a small-town kid, grew up in Wheeler, Texas. I think it was like 1,200 population. Not really that many people there, so everybody knew you. I played sports. I did all that good stuff. I was actually the bad kid in school. Ever since I grew up in Wheeler, but I got to Wheeler from Mexico when I was 8. So I lived in Mexico until I was 8. Then I got to Wheeler when I was 8, and that's where I grew up, you know?
Yeah.
But in Mexico, I was horrible, dude. Like, I just did some crazy stuff. Things that you don't expect 8-year-olds to do here, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we were jumping over train carts and doing all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
At 8 years old?
Yeah, dude. There'd be like homeless crackheads in the little carts.
Yeah.
And we'd like kick the doors open to scare them and stuff. Yeah. Then the security guys would like follow us with their dogs and all kinds of stuff.
Never thinking of like the consequences at that age. You're
No,
8
dude.
years old, you just do whatever.
We're just having fun. I mean, my mom, she always worked, so she wasn't like there to kind of get on my butt, but it was just me doing whatever I wanted, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so you moved here. You said you moved to Wheeler when you were 8, and you know you kind of got accustomed to that little town, and you said you were the bad kid in school. Kind of it just followed you, right? You just kind of just kept doing your own thing.
It was bad.
But let's talk about fast forwarding, growing up, and then you get into high school, and then you graduate. What happened there after that?
Man, so I graduated. I went to Amarillo College just to do my basics. I wanted to go for diesel mechanics.
Okay.
And then I was taking my basics, and I was like, man, this is not for me. I was tired of being broke. Then I had a couple of buddies that worked in the oil field. So they would come visit me and stay at my apartment. And they would always just buying shoes, clothes, all kinds of stuff because they were making lots of money.
Yeah.
And I was a broke college kid because it's really expensive. Apartment, a car, bills, things like that.
Most definitely.
So I was working like at Subway, little fast food restaurants.
Oh yeah.
And then after that, I was like, this ain't for me. I went and worked in the oil field. I think I was in the oil field for about 6 years.
Oh
Yeah,
dang.
yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I started from the bottom and then moved up a little bit to where I was almost 2 positions away from being like the big boss on the rig.
Yeah.
But I didn't make it that far because during COVID, they started laying people off, and then they wanted to send me over to Pennsylvania. So I was like, man, that's too far just to be traveling that much, you know? So I was like, I'm good. I'm just going to stay here. I had talked to my girl about kind of starting my own business. And that's whenever I started mowing yards.
Yeah.
Mowing yards, cutting trees, things like that, landscaping stuff. But when I was on the rig, that's what I started reading a book. It's called The Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard that book.
Yeah, and that just clicked, bro. I finished reading that book. I was like, man, what am I doing here? Like, literally, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. So that just gave me that boost, you know?
Yeah.
When I got home, I was like, hey, I'm quitting. Like, I'm just going to mow yards. So
Yeah.
you go from making thousands of dollars to not knowing
Yeah,
what
it
you're
might
going to
be
make.
a couple thousand, maybe a couple hundred a week sometimes, or a
dude.
day. You know,
It's crazy. And then
Yeah.
I got me a little trailer, zero-turn lawnmower, all the equipment, you know, and I just started mowing yards. It wasn't as successful as I wanted it to be because I didn't have that many clients and stuff. So it evolved to doing fences.
Yeah.
Fences, I mean, I started making a little bit more money, but it still wasn't what I wanted, you know?
Yeah.
Then we got a house, moved in with my girl, we got married, things like that. And then we had a bathroom that we needed remodeled. So I got my brother-in-law, he's like a builder, bro. He could build a whole house if you want him to.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And he's the one who did our stuff here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane how you had a vision and you just told him what you wanted, and I feel like a week later it was done.
It's crazy, right? Yeah. Man, he's so good at everything he does.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's why he charges what he charges, though. He makes good money.
Yeah, you get what you pay for sure.
Exactly. Like, you can literally say, hey, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I want, get it done. He's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, and he gets it done fast. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So with him, I was like, hey, man, I'm thinking about doing this bathroom remodel. He's like, hey, let's do it. So we did it together. I helped a little, things like that. And I was like, man, this is pretty cool. You see how that transformation, you know, from an old bathroom to a brand new bathroom with tile, walk-in shower, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, what if we start doing this like full time? And he was already doing that a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
He just wasn't getting as much business and stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna take some pictures of this bathroom. I'm gonna put it on Facebook, before, after pictures, and then just kind of market it, you know? And he's like, all right, let's get some jobs and get going.
Yeah.
So that's whenever we started going into remodeling. That's when Amarillo Home Projects kind of grew. That's what I call it, Amarillo Home Projects. And it just took off, man. We've been doing a lot of bathroom remodels. We still do some fencing, things like that. But it's mainly bathroom remodels and like home remodels. Yeah.
So it's just like, from what I'm hearing, and it started early, is investing in yourself, right?
Yeah.
And investing in your dreams. And I think a lot of people, the thing that holds us back is fear, you know? And I mean, it happens. It's normal, you know. But, you know, hearing that you leave the oil fields after 6 years of making guaranteed money, good money, but you read this book, and it's crazy. Isn't it crazy how a book can just change your mindset, right?
It's crazy, man.
And so, like, you think about that. We talk about those books. We talk about books we've read, and you know, I've read some of those great books, you know, a few years ago, and I, you know, I haven't really read anything recently.
Yeah.
But I know you have. But it's just crazy how you can take those and it shifts your mindset, right?
It does, man.
I feel like that's kind of what led us to Hustlers Horizon podcast, because it's like the more you sit here and talk things like that, it's helping us grow as people, but then people are going to watch these episodes and they're going to get some good, insightful things. But hearing that, it's you invested in your dreams, and I've witnessed it just even with the podcast alone. You know, it was a vision. You have a vision. Obviously, you have to invest in yourself, whether, you know, it's losing sleep sometimes.
The time, man.
Yeah, time. Really, it's investing time. I mean, and yes, because obviously you need money, right, to invest in yourself. But there's so many other things that you have to invest in, and it's that time, and it's that dedication. It's just showing up, and that's what I've witnessed, and I see it is you've just invested in yourself, and you're still continuing to do so, because I mean, I know, you know, you got the Amarillo Home Projects. Now we have this. Now you have the offices. You know, let's talk about that too. How did all of this come about?
Man, I've always wanted a building kind of to have an office to do this. I've always wanted to do a podcast for years. I just never went for it, really. And that's another big thing, is that you came around, dude, and like I see what you got going on. You know, like you're good at talking, you're good at doing lots of stuff. So I was like, man, he'll be the perfect guy to do it with. And people say it all the time. This dude's fluent. Like you're pretty good at what you do. So I was like, hey, Derek, let's just do it. And you're like, hey, I'm down. But I don't know if you thought I was serious or not.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right, I started ordering everything.
Yeah.
And
that's what we talked about. I mean, because we had that conversation, and I've had that conversation with multiple people though.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, man, we should do a podcast one day, right?
Yeah.
And it's just you know. But we had that conversation, and it was like multiple conversations. And then I remember, you know, you'd be in your office, you're like, dude, let's start a podcast. I'm like, man, that'd be cool. And then I kind of like, nah, he's not serious, right? It's just another one.
Yeah.
And then I just remember, you know, I tell people, you came into the office one day, you're like, or no, you first just started with, I got a building.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Cool, you know, that's awesome.
You know what's funny though? That I had a lot of people telling me, hey, don't buy that building. It's not a good investment. Don't do it. But to me, I'm like, man, when I really want something, I'm just going to go for it. Like, what's the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah.
I get screwed over or something happens, then I'm young enough, you know, I can come back from it. So I was like, I'm just going to do it. But I did have people telling me, hey, it's not a good investment.
Yeah.
But so far, I mean, it hasn't been bad.
But it's because you invested in this property. You got this building now, but then what you've done with it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's completely different than when we came to look at it to now. It's a whole different.
It's crazy.
People don't think like that. They think they buy this building, they just, in their mind, I'm going to just leave it at the condition it's in.
Yeah.
That's why it's a terrible investment, because you have to invest in your investment.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way I look at it, right? And so you completely have turned it around. And so, but it was just funny how we talked about, you got the building. I was like, that's cool. And then it was like, hey, I got the equipment on the way. And I was like, what equipment? And you're like, oh, the microphone.
Podcast,
I was like, oh,
bro.
I said, oh, so we're really doing this. Okay. And so then it became a reality. And so now it's just cool because we bring these, guests on and hear their stories. And that's why we started Hustlers Horizon when we were thinking of names, right?
Yeah.
And it's just in that season of wanting to better yourself, of wanting to just build something. And this right here, I feel like we've gotten some really good feedback. I feel like people really support it. And it's because, again, I've had multiple people told me, everyone can have a podcast, and you turn it on and sometimes they're talking nonsense, right?
Yeah.
There's funny podcasts, which, hey, they get us going.
Yeah.
There's podcasts where it's insightful what we're doing. We're having really genuine conversations to really help people grow, but we're also having fun along the way, right?
Yeah, man, these are fun. And the people we bring in, they're great individuals, that we get to we're doing what they're doing, even from growing a business, running a business, talking and marketing, all that good stuff. And they're great guests.
Yeah, I mean, it's been super fun just talking with them. And I mean, 5 episodes. I can't believe we're already 5 episodes
I know,
in
dude.
now.
I wish we could do 2 a week. That'd be cool. But the time, that's the main thing. We don't have time.
Well, see, and we talk about that, and that's what we just said, you have to invest that time, right? And that's what I'm trying to get better at, because, we do this, and then it's like the editing process. And sometimes it's just like, all right, I can't, if I have to look at my computer for like 1 more hour, I'm going to go crazy,
Yeah.
But I've learned in this thing, though, it's really, in a way, is kind of giving me something to hold myself accountable, right?
Yeah.
Because we are busy. We're doing things, life. We have our lives
We're
outside
always
of the
going,
We're
man.
always going somewhere. But, the last episode, I was like, it was Sunday. And we drop our episodes on Mondays, right?
Yeah.
So I was busy all week with the Venom and work and doing this and that. And
You got it done, though.
Sunday, I was stressing so bad. I was like, it has to happen Sunday, but Sunday's game day.
Yeah.
And so I my body, I don't know what it was. I woke up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and all I could think of was, I'm going to get ready and go to the office, and I'm going to lock in. I'm going to sit there for 2 or 3 hours, and I got it done.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it, right? Yeah. It's because you're being productive, you're getting something done, but that's what we got to talk about too. So now that we're talking about time, you've been very successful, you're hustling, you're always staying busy. You've accomplished a lot. You got to give yourself credit there. You may not give yourself enough credit.
Yeah, man. I that's what I always feel like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
And I want to do more.
Yeah.
Even my girl tells me, she's like, dude, slow down. Slow down. But I mean, to me, especially when you read those motivational books like by David Goggins and hard books that, man, it just gets me going. Like I'll be up at night at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm ready to go to work.
Yeah.
My girl's like, just go to bed.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Sleep.
She calls me, she says I have crackhead energy. For real.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm going to find a way. But talk about that too. With that, how do you manage? Because you do talk about having to slow down, right?
Yeah.
But even on top of that, you still manage to, do the things that you should. You take your lady on date nights. You spend time with your kids. You still manage to be a father and a husband and all of those things, and a manager and a friend. How do you manage all that? Did it take some time to get there?
Man, it did. I mean, it's just, I still don't think I do good at it either. It's just like today I had that build, I had a roof inspection, I had a bunch of things I had to do. And that's why I called you last night. I was like, hey, can you go to that meeting for me? But to me, I was going to try to go to that. But I was like, man, that's too much. I can't do it. So sometimes I do have to reach out for help and stuff. But for me, dude, it's just getting it done. I like being overwhelmed. A lot of people don't like that. But to me, it's like whenever I'm stressed and stuff, that's when I feel like I perform better. Like I got 20 things to do today. I'm just running all the way around town, getting it done. And one thing that's helped me is that I have the calendar app, and I just put my the things I gotta do that day, and it's been helping me a little bit. But For the most part, dude, it's just I know what I have to get done that day, and I have to get it done.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, but it's the calendar. I feel like helps because it's number one, it's good to know what you have to get done, but it's also it helps whenever you're checking things off as you go, right?
Yeah.
And then so you've been productive. And you talk about overwhelming, like that's a big word that I feel like my dad has to have those conversations sometimes too. He's like, son. He's like, make sure to take care of your body.
Your body,
take care of your health. And I'm like, yeah, man. I gotta go. I want to do this. I want to do that. And it can catch up to you sometimes, but the feeling of it just keeps you going because you want to. In my mind, I see the bigger picture and what I'm wanting to build and what I'm moving towards, what I want to move towards, and that's like. I don't have time to stop. Like I want to, I have that mindset of I'll rest when I'm dead.
I wanted to talk to you about that because you do a lot of things too, like me. Like we're always trying to do something.
Yeah.
With the Venom and stuff, with our marketing guy, awesome editing videos you do. You take care of 3 branches. Like I said, the Venom, what is it, Peak Fighting?
The Peak Fighting.
All that stuff. How do you manage that? Like what's your process?
Man, so it was one of those things when I started with Excel, before I started with you guys, I did banking for 7 years, but I always had a niche for marketing, like videography, voiceover work, and podcast was always something I wanted to do. I used to want to be in radio when I was little. I wanted to do radio. I wanted to have a radio show, right? Yeah. And so when I got the opportunity to come on with Excel and do videography, it was like, dang, okay, so there was that step. And it opened up doors to really still do what I love. And I started getting myself out there more as far as like, I'm the kind of guy that's like, I try to stay very humble and quiet sometimes in the background. Yeah. But I'm also that kind of guy like, let me show you what I can do, right? Yeah. I can do it more than just this. And that's what keeps me going. So it was like, I'm good at this. I'm good at talking to people, but I'm also good at interviewing athletes. Yeah. So then I started doing with the Venom, right? Or I started Peak Fighting.
Peak Fighting.
When Peak Fighting came last year, I kind of just reached out to the guys myself. I messaged them, hey, or I went to the press conference. It was open to the public. They had a microphone there. If anyone wants to ask questions, I dressed up super nice. Yeah. I had the blazer on.
Yeah,
whatever.
You dressed up nice. I've noticed that.
Well, and so I went to the microphone and started asking the fighters questions. Well, then I got to know the media guy. And I was like, hey, would it be cool if I come tomorrow to the fights? What's the process to get a media badge? And he's like, oh, you're good. Let me just, so we went from there. So that was another door open. I got my foot in the door there, interviewing fighters, getting to know them. So people saw my work there, right? So it's like building your portfolio. But now I've been overwhelmed, but like you said, it's kind of like it. Yeah. Because now it's like I have work and then, I have to travel for work sometimes, but then it's like I'm going to travel and then I got to get back into town and now I have to prep for game day all weekend. Yeah. And now I have to get, what am I going to wear and how am I going to approach this? What questions am I going to ask? And then you have to go through game day. I'm waking up early, that whole thing, getting ready just for 6 o'clock to come. So at the end of that day, at the end of the week, my social battery's dead, right? And so it's like, okay, I don't want to talk to no more people. I want to just relax. But I almost have to force myself because even then, my social battery's dead. So I'm like, I don't really want to deal with people, but I can still do work on the computer. Yeah. And it's like you have to remind yourself, like, hey, you do have to take those breaks. Like, it's okay to rest. And I think but that's a hustler's mentality. Dude, like you said, you could be doing more. And that's what I feel like. I feel like what we do now, everything I'm doing, everything you're doing, and you've seen results from it, but it takes time, right?
It does take time.
I'm in that season where I'm doing so much. I'm not seeing really a lot of results right now, but what keeps me going is I know they're coming, right? And so that's what keeps me going is with the Venom, with the sports reporting. That's always been something I wanted to do, but it's like, I hear it from a lot of people. They're like, you're just everywhere, right? And before it was like, man, this guy doesn't know what he wants to do. It's like, I know what I want to do because once I started with Excel, do the marketing, that's what I love to do. So I feel like everything I do now from that, it's still marketing in a way. It's still me doing what you love. Yeah, I'm doing what I love, so it's never work.
What about whenever you were like younger? Because you said you started doing like what, Christian music?
Yeah, I started when I was 12 years old. I started doing Christian hip hop.
Oh, really? Yeah. Do you have any tracks or anything?
Oh, yeah.
You do? Safe?
Yeah, I have some old tracks.
You need to show me sometime.
Sound like a little squeaky guy. But no, so I started doing music when I was 12 years old. My dad, I remember I went up to him at our church, and they're like, we're starting this Christian hip hop ministry. Whoever wants to come try out or join, it's on Thursday nights. So my dad would drop me off every Thursday night. I'm this 12-year-old kid, super shy. My dad was super questioning it, like,
Yeah.
But I began to write my own lyrics, right? And that was my way of like expressing my feelings. And then when I'd get on stage, I was a totally different person. So I did that till I was 15 or 16 years old. And then I wouldn't say necessarily stepped away from church or the Christian music.
Yeah.
But I started making, and when I say secular, I don't mean secular as in like cussing,
Yeah.
but just music that was more just for a broader,
everybody.
for everybody.
Yeah.
And so my music always still had a positive message. And so even today, I still do music. If anyone ever books me or whatever, but I don't really push it as much. It's just all of these things
It's
I
for
love.
fun.
It's for fun. I just feel like I've had more success now trying to do that for fun than I did before when I tried to push it because I wanted to make it big. That's everyone's dream.
Yeah.
And you stress yourself out and you stress yourself out. But now I've had more success because I'm like, I may not go anywhere with this, but I'm going to have fun with it. And a lot of people see it and they see the passion you have for it. And
It's like a hobby too.
Yeah.
So if you're doing something you love, I mean, it's you do it for free sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'll do it for free.
No, most definitely. You have
not
to,
bad.
you have to, you have to take those opportunities.
So
And-
what's you went from that to doing the Venom to working with us, which you've been a big asset to. For people that don't know, he's our marketing manager for Excel Construction Group, but because we keep saying Excel, but it's a roofing company that he works for us too. But you've been a great asset to our company. Like you see that the owner's calling you, hey, Mijo, come work over here. Which we gotta interview him sometime.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely get Felix.
But
on.
everybody's trying to get you to do stuff, man, and like trying to steal you away from us.
Yeah.
So you can. That's definitely showing that you know what you're doing. You're valuable.
Most definitely, it's a good feeling, man. And I talk to him, and I tell you guys all the time. It's you have to, in anything you do, you're gonna have your good days and your bad days, right? It doesn't matter what you're doing. But my mindset really changed when I got this job, because before, man, I was in a dark place in life. So after I got this opportunity, the reason I feel like I give it my all and that I try to do my best, and just go.
Yeah.
It's just because I realize how grateful I am and blessed I am, right? Like it's an opportunity that this is something I wanted to do a long time ago, and now I'm doing it for a huge company and having fun with it. But to get that recognition and that, hey, like, man, that video is good.
Yeah.
You have to be very just thankful and live in that moment. And we've talked about that on one of our episodes, right?
Yeah.
It's very important. Like I'm grateful for where I'm at because I'm building towards something.
There
you
you
know
go.
what I'm saying? I mean, it's not. I'm not where I want to be. Nowhere. And honestly, I probably will never be where I want to be because I'm always wanting to go.
Yeah, that's how I am. I was like,
So.
yeah, that's the main thing. You got to keep.
Oh yeah, no,
pushing
it's
it on.
But what you talk about, the next part I want to talk about is like, we just said you want to keep going. That's like you want to just keep growing and growing.
Yeah.
So, a question I have for you, like, and I know we talk about living in the moment, but what is like your plans, like your next goal in life, whether it's a business goal or whatever it is?
Yeah, I mean, with me I ultimately want to be happy with my family.
Yeah.
Of course, you go through things in life, personal things that gives you setbacks and stuff. So, family, I want as long as they're doing good, man, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy that I'm able to help my mom, my sister, things like that. Because we grew up in Mexico, bro. Like, we didn't have much, right?
Yeah.
To me, I feel like I've already made it. From Mexico, like literally, bro. Whenever we ate breakfast, like you get 2 pesos and be like, hey, go get 2 eggs to have breakfast. Like it wouldn't be like you buy here the whole thing of eggs, So I'm thankful for that. And my goal, like you said, I don't really have any specific goals. I'm just living the day to day, making the best out of it, really. Trying to make smart investments, trying to obviously grow, with Excel Construction Group. I mean, it's a great company. So,
Oh yeah.
I don't plan on leaving, really. I mean, unless they fire me.
Yeah. I don't see that happening, man.
No, but that's
awesome.
That's really it. I love doing the roofing part, the roof guru thing. I love talking to customers, homeowners, all that good stuff, man. Like I just want to keep doing it. I feel like what I'm doing now is making me happy.
Yeah.
Especially this podcast, the roofing, the real estate investment, buying rental properties, things like that. That's what I want to do,
Exactly.
To me, that I've already made it. I don't know what else I can do, really.
No, exactly. I think the most important thing that you started off with wasn't It wasn't about money or business. It was your family.
Yeah,
Right?
that.
Like, that's awesome. And not a lot of people think like that, because I know that that's my biggest thing is, your story, coming from Mexico and you talk about, not having much growing up to now. And I even want to say, like, if I remember correctly, you bought your mom a car on her birthday.
Yeah, man, that was the greatest. That was literally the greatest feeling I've ever had, really, because she gave us everything. She got us here to this great country to be able to, and let us go. You know what I mean? To be able to do whatever we wanted to, make whatever we could out of our situation. And yeah, her birthday, man, I was like, I gotta buy her a car. Yeah, because her car was breaking down and stuff, and it just felt great, man. Like, especially after. She's done a lot for me, man. You can tell on her Horizons podcast Facebook. Yeah, that's my mom putting those. Commenting. She has my back for everything. Yeah, and it just felt great, man, to be able to do that for her. It's I don't even know what to say about it.
Yeah, man. I remember going with you. You're like, hey, go help me. Pick up the car. We went to go get it. Very nice car, and I just could only imagine how good of a feeling that was on her birthday.
She cried,
and for you to go and all your hard work, all the things you do, behind the scenes and take care of your family as well, to be able to go, and there's this nice car and you're able to pay it in cash, pay it in full.
It felt so good.
You know what I'm saying? That was awesome. So it's just good to see that family is the core of everything.
It is. And like I said, especially how we grew up, they're everything, all we have. Cassie too, like, she wants to start her own business. I was like, hey, let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it. I'm here to support you 100%. Yeah. And she's actually working on that. It should be launching soon. So
yeah, that's good. We'll have to bring her on and talk about it.
I told her.
Yeah, because the girls like to shop. So
yeah, she'll be right across the hallway.
So what we should do, here's an idea with her boutique. If she brings customers in here, right? Yeah. They're shopping around. We got the little lounge area. We got the conference room. Let's say they drag their husbands here, boyfriends, whatever. Yeah. And their boyfriend's like, I really don't want to be here, but they can watch some sports, maybe have some drinks while they wait for their wives to spend all their money.
Yeah, that's cool. It is going to be online, though, mostly online. Okay. For local people, they can come pick up their stuff here. Yeah. But,
online's the way to go, too. It is.
She's just going to be shipping everything out of here and stuff like that. So
well, that's
I'm
cool,
proud of her. I'm proud of her. Man, she's doing great. And let's go.
Okay, so you mentioning that you're proud of her. You're proud of Cassie, but you said she's helped you a lot, right? Yeah. And so let's talk about that, man, because I love these conversations, because you're very successful, but I've heard it before, and they say behind every successful man is a woman pushing him and that believes in him, right? Yeah. She's supporting you. I want to talk about that, man, because like I said, I pay attention to people's relationships, man. Yeah. I observe, right? Yeah. But I observe from people who are successful, and maybe to hear their stories, right? It hasn't always been that way. Yeah. But what does that mean? Like that you have somebody that supportive, that holds you accountable at times, that says, hey.
Yeah, dude, it means a lot. Like it hasn't been perfect at all, man. Like, it was rough at first, but now, like, we're in a great spot now. Yeah. And the way she's helped me, like, she helped me calm down. Like, if you knew me 5-6 years ago, you'd be like, who the hell are you? I promise you, ask people. I was just a party animal, just blowing my money, not even thinking about the future, Yeah. And whenever I met her, like, she just helped me stay focused, helped me get my things together. And she's been a rock for me, man, since I met her, really. We've had our ups and downs and things like that, but it's doing way better now, and we're growing with each other. And that's what I tell people. Like, I've told you that you have to find someone that's going to have there to support you, to have your back, to push you to want to do more, Yeah. And that's what she does. Sometimes she does tell me to slow down, but she sees how tired I get home, because people don't see that. No. People don't see whenever you get home at 10 p.m. and you're just wore out, Yeah. She's like, hey, take a break. But she kind of helps me level my craziness to her chilledness.
Yeah, that's good, balancing it out. And that's the thing, is I know we've talked about that plenty of times, and I know how important that is to have that to back you and to support you, because I look at my parents.
Yeah, who's your rock? Like, who do you go to whenever you need advice and things like that?
When I need advice, it's I go to my parents. I do, but most importantly though, I do go to my dad a lot, just because I have an amazing mom. Yeah. I do. My mom supports me.
Your mom's cool. I've met her.
Yeah, you met my mom. She supports me 100%. And it's just funny because, you know, I'm still her baby boy, you know? And so
you're the youngest, right? Or no?
No, I have a younger one, but yeah. So my mom's very supportive. Such an amazing. I mean, she's like a friend, you know, a best friend at times, and getting to go to her for advice. And she's seen me down and out, crying and losing it. But I go to my dad just because me and my dad hadn't always had the best relationship, you know, growing up.
Yeah.
But we finally just became super close, and he gives me such good advice.
Yeah.
And I go to him just because I want that manly advice, right? That my mom can't give me. She gives me great advice, but when it comes to stuff like that, especially business and anything, I've seen my dad, you know, he's just a go-getter, man. He doesn't ever stop.
Yeah. And that's kind of how a lot of people work. Like, they're not close to their parents or their dad. How did you get back to that, to being close to him?
Oh man, I'll tell you this. You know, we'll get a little
Just
deep
don't
here.
start crying.
Yeah. No, we won't. I won't start crying, but I'll get deep. So I lost my grandpa in 2016. So about maybe a year. I feel like maybe a good year, maybe a little over a year or so leading up to my grandpa passing away. I wasn't talking to my dad. I got into it with him. You know, and
it's just part of being young.
Yeah, it's part of being young. We got into it, and I was like, you know what, I don't want nothing to do with you, or whatever. So we just didn't talk, man. And that was probably one of the hardest parts of my life. Well, my grandpa was sick, and I remember he kept, you know, he was in hospice. His days were coming, right? And he called me into the room, and he's like, hey, you know, he would always ask me, have you talked to your dad? I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to him. Fought it. Well, one day he finally, that day, for some reason, he just got a hold of me, and he's like, you need to call your dad. And I was like, why? Yeah. And he's like, because I'm about to go. Yeah. He goes, and he's going to be the one that's there for you. He's going to be the one that gives you that manly advice. He's going to be the one. And man, so finally I called my dad, had some attitude. I was like, hey, Dad, you want to go to lunch or something? You know, and he's like, I'd love that. Yeah. So we talked about it, and, you know, and I was very bitter, but from then on, that's my best friend. And that's the guy I call.
You always talk about it.
Yeah, that's the guy I call, man, for anything. Yeah. It can be the littlest things. Like if I felt like I accomplished something great, I'm calling my dad.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, man, you know, I'm proud of you, son. But that's who I go to. But you know, I've talked to him. I talked about everything. And I talked to him about relationships, right? I'm like, you know, Pops, like I watch, you know, him and my stepmom, and I watch, you know, my mom, and you see the good, the bad, and the ugly, right?
Yeah.
And so, but I've asked him, like, how do you overcome those things, right? Because that's what I strive for. Yeah. And that's what eventually, like, I want to be. You know, I tell my dad, I hope I'm half the man that you are when I'm older, right?
Exactly, yeah.
You know, because even though we had our differences, and even though, you know, I feel like we weren't always super close, you know, at times, that's my dad, and he's instilled so much in me now, you know? So, I mean, these, you know, from 2015, 2016, even before, he's instilled so much in me. So that's who I go to. And then, you know, now, you know, meeting someone, getting into a relationship, it's like you take those no's.
Oh, so you got a girl now?
Yeah, man. I know, it's shocking, surprising.
Dang, throw her up on the video.
No, man. So it's a good feeling, but you know, we talk about it, and even I talked to my dad about that advice, but I've talked to you before too.
Yeah.
And it's always been like, you know, joke around about it, but you're like, man, you need to find your girl who like calms you down, right? And hey, you know, I'll tell you this. I'm gonna put it to you this way: I haven't been out drinking every night, all hours of the night. I'll tell you, if anything, like the last few days, I've actually been in bed by like 7 or 8.
Really?
That's crazy. It's a weird change.
Yeah.
But
that's what helps you. That's what you need.
You know, but it is. But it's those things that I remember what my dad told me, and I remember I take those notes, right? And it's just it's a growing thing. It's a growing process. But I think just having someone that supports you, even you know, this girl now. I mean, it's so fresh, but every little thing. I mean, she supports it. You know, and she loves. And what attracts her the most is the hustle, right? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I can do that. Yeah. I can do, you know, I can stay busy. Trust me. But then there's also like, okay, but remember, it's okay to rest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just nice to have people in your corner, people who support what you do. I want to just, I want to kind of end it with this, like we end all of our episodes, giving some advice to those who have watched our show, who are wanting to maybe even start their own podcast, start their own business. And I want you to be the one to give that advice because you've done it. You're still doing it, and you've been through the ups and downs. What's some advice you'd give to them?
Man, really just get knowledgeable on important things like books. You want to read books. You want to talk to people that are actually doing that, you know, and not giving up because it's hard. Getting started is very hard. It's scary. You don't want to do it, especially when you have something that's you're so comfortable doing. Like you don't have to worry about a weekly paycheck, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you're not happy doing that and you want to aim for more in life, you just have to go for it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you have to risk it, especially when you're younger and you got that time. If you mess up, you got that time to rebound from it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you could always come back. That's what I tell my friends. I was like, hey, just if you want to do something, do it.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to go for it sometimes. And also, the reading the books, understanding what you're trying to do, your goals, setting your goals, things like that. That's helped me a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
And then just hustling, man. Like sometimes when you start, you have to work till sundown. You know, sun up to sundown.
Yeah,
That's just something that comes with that hustle.
exactly.
And a lot of people aren't willing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just what I recommend. I said if you're willing, if you're wanting to start a business, go at it 100%. Don't give up. It's gonna be hard, but at the end of the day, you're taking a risk that most people aren't willing to take.
Yeah.
And that just even just doing that just puts you on a different level. You
Exactly.
know? And that's just what I say, man. Just do it. But if you're gonna do it 100%.
Yeah.
Don't half-ass it
Yeah.
because there's no point in it if you're gonna half-ass it.
Exactly. So if you're gonna do it, just give it your all.
Give it your all.
Yeah.
If you're gonna like a podcast, you're gonna start a podcast, do it properly.
Yeah,
you know.
go all in. Do it right.
Yeah, that's really it. Just go for it.
Yeah, that's good advice, man.
Yeah, man. What about you? What do you recommend to people that are trying to do their own thing business wise or?
Man, so yeah, anybody who's wanting to start a business or has a dream, my advice is simply wake up, right? And the reason I say that is because it took me to just wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up, show up. Wake up and realize your worth, realize your potential, because there was so many things that I want to do, right? And I had to realize I can do it. If you have a dream and there's something that's just always pulling at your heart, wake up. Wake up and go do it. I mean, it's as simple as that. And you're not going to see results in the first day, the first week, maybe not even the first year.
Yeah.
Right? But if you really put your mind to it, wake up, show up, and do it and give it your all. Like you said, if you're going to do it right. Go all in with it.
Yeah.
You're going to lose some sleep. You're going to overwhelm yourself. You're going to fail.
Yeah.
People are scared of that. You're going to fail. That's what teaches you. That's how you just bounce back. That's the advice I would give somebody. Wake up. And when I say that, it's simple. Wake up and realize your worth and know that you have everything in your power to do it.
And don't settle. Like if you're somewhere where you're not happy, your job, anything where you're not happy, why are you there? Like what's keeping you there?
Yeah.
That's why I understand some people are like, well, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I was like, there's so many opportunities out there.
It's the fear of people want stability and get in you. But the way I look at it is waking up, realizing your worth, but doing what you have to do for now. If you have a dream that there's something you want to do, it's not going to happen overnight. Build towards it, but do what you have to do for now. You're going to have to work a full-time job. You're going to have to work a part-time job. So guess what that means? When you get off at 5 or 6 o'clock, you better dedicate 4 or 5 more hours of just building in your dream, right?
Yeah.
Building your business. You're going to lose sleep. You're going to go crazy sometimes. But if you really want to do it, wake up, show up, and just kick ass and make it happen.
Yeah.
That's the best advice I can give anybody. Then you said, don't settle. Always be willing to grow. Once you reach that one milestone, shoot for the next one.
There you go. Get off your ass and set your goals and go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go for it.
Exactly. Well, shoot, guys, this episode was that one stopped. Hey, guys, this episode was a fun one. I mean, I think it was pretty fun, very insightful.
I like this. We should do this more often.
Yes, most definitely. We had to do it to let people know who we are, why we started this, man. Yeah. And so, Pedro, I'm glad you shared your story, man, because I got to learn some new things about you.
Me too. I'm glad we got to do this for sure.
So we definitely got to do it some more. But you guys, again, thank you for watching Hustlers Horizon Podcast. This is the 5th episode. With that being said, we are in the works now of releasing it to be on all platforms, on Spotify, on Apple, or on iTunes, any platform where you can listen to podcasts. Hustlers Horizon is on the way there, so you can listen in your car, listen on the way to work, maybe when you're traveling, get some good, insightful things. Again, we want to say thank you for everyone who has supported. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. It's Hustlers Horizon Podcast with the 5th episode. Stay tuned when it drops on all platforms. Again, thank you for watching Hustlers Horizon Podcast, where we hustle, we level up, shift the mindset to build a better us and build a better business.
Let's go.
Hustle up, baby.
Let's
Love
go.
you.